Somewhere along the way, we got sold a lie. The lie sounds like this: the bigger the success, the harder it has to hurt to get there. The more that you produce in your real estate business, the more you should expect to sacrifice. And if you're tired, if you're running on empty, and the business still needs you in it every single moment, that just means it's working. I want to tell you something today that I wish someone had told me, and that I have watched change the trajectory of hundreds of careers and families across this industry. Burnout is not the price of success. It is the cost of a broken design. And broken designs can be rebuilt. Let me describe something. And I want you to notice, honestly, how much of this is your life right now. You are producing at a high level, maybe the highest level that you ever have in your entire career. Your name is known in your market. You've put in the work, and it shows. But the business still needs you inside it to keep running. Not just your judgment, not just your vision, your actual presence, your actual availability, your actual energy every single day. You've hired people, maybe even built a team, but the decisions still find their way back to you every time. The questions still come, the fires still get routed to your phone, and your phone is both your lifeline and your leash. This is the part that sits in the back of your mind at 11 p.m. There are things you said you'd reclaim when you hit this level: time, presence, the version of yourself that exists outside of production, the reasons why you got into this business to begin with. That gap between what you've built and what you actually wanted your life to feel like when you built it, that gap is what this channel is about. Because that gap is not a hustle problem. It's not a discipline problem. It is a design problem. And design problems have design solutions. I've spent years sitting across from women exactly like you. Top producers, team leaders, small brokerage owners in 37 different markets across the United States and in 5 other countries. And the thing that I keep watching happen over and over and over is this: the agents who transform their businesses, who cross from exhausted, high producer to genuinely profitable, totally present leader, are not the ones who worked harder or hired faster or found a better script. They're the ones who stopped long enough to see the design clearly and then rebuilt it on purpose. I've watched agents go from running themselves into the ground to building teams that function without them while they're at their kids' games. I've watched women break production records and actually be home. I've watched people build businesses that are starting to look like something they could one day sell, or simply step back from without it all falling apart. That is what's actually possible. Not someday, right now, in your actual market, with your actual team, at your actual stage of growth. My name is Saundra Kandler, and this is Reflect Like a CEO. Here is the reframe that I want to give you today, because I think it will change how you see everything else going forward. There are 2 versions of the business that you're running. I call them the operator version and the owner version. In the operator version, you are the engine. Your energy, your relationships, your judgment, these are what keep it moving. And this version is not a problem. It's how you got here. It's how you built the business to begin with. The drive that made you a top producer is real. It's yours, and it built something worth building. But the operator version has a ceiling, and most people hit it without realizing what it is. They think they need to push through it, add more, hire more, produce more, and the ceiling just gets heavier. The owner version is what comes next. In the owner version, your best judgment is still in the room, but it's been built into your systems, your culture, your people. The business reflects you without requiring you to be physically present in every single decision. Here's the truth that nobody in this industry is saying out loud. Most top producers never make this transition, not because they're not capable, but because nobody ever told them it was a transition that had to be made. They just keep producing. They don't live intentionally, and then they wonder why, with all the success, the life still doesn't feel like what they were working towards when they started. The operator builds the revenue. The owner builds the legacy. You need both, but you cannot run them simultaneously from the same posture, from the same perspective. Something has to shift first. And that shift starts here in how you think before it ever shows up in how you operate. I want to go back to that lie I named at the top because I think it runs deeper than most people realize. Burnout has been glamorized in this industry. Hustle culture put a trophy next to exhaustion and called it ambition. And somewhere in your career, maybe early, maybe recently, you started to believe that if it wasn't hard, it wasn't real. That rest was a reward that you hadn't earned yet. That wanting more ease meant you weren't hungry enough. Can I tell you what I've actually seen in markets across this country and beyond? The agents who last, who are still growing, still loving this work, still showing up with energy and vision 10 and 15 years in, are not the ones who burned the brightest and longest. They are the ones who learned early or learned eventually that sustainable production requires a sustainable producer. You are the asset, not just your database, not just your brand, you, your clarity, your energy, your relationships, your ability to see around corners and make good choices under pressure. You are the most valuable thing in your business, and assets require maintenance. Assets require protection. Assets do not appreciate when they're run into the ground. Presence and profit can coexist at the same time. Live your legacy right now. That is not a tagline. That is a framework. You do not have to wait until you exit. You do not have to wait until the kids are older or the market softens or you finally get the right hire. The life you are building toward is available to you now with a different set of decisions than the ones that got you here. So here's what this channel is and who this is for. If you are a top producing woman in real estate, an individual agent who has hit a leverage ceiling, a team leader carrying both leadership and production, or a brokerage owner who never fully left the production seat, this channel was built for you. We are going to talk about what it actually looks like to build a business designed to grow without consuming you. We're going to talk about hiring with strategy instead of desperation. Leadership, the real kind that shows up under pressure, that develops other people. Profit, what it means to actually keep more of what you close. And what it looks like to build something with your name on it that you're proud of in the full scope of your life, not just on a production report, not just at an awards ceremony. I'll also be honest with you about what it costs to keep doing what you've been doing, not to make you feel bad, but because the women I work with already feel it. They just haven't had a space where someone looked them in the eye and gave them a plan to change it. This is that space. Before I let you go, I want to say something that I mean completely. If you're here, you're already asking the right questions. The fact that something in this video stopped you, made you feel seen or convicted, or like you were finally hearing what you've been trying to articulate to yourself, that is not an accident. This is discernment. You did not come this far by accident, and you are not stuck. You are standing at a decision point that a lot of women in this industry never get to because they don't stop long enough to see it clearly. You're seeing it. You don't have to burn out to be successful. You never did. And it is not too late to build something that proves it, not just to your market, but to yourself and to the people watching you most closely. That is the work, and I'm glad you're here. If this landed for you, subscribe. That's it. Just subscribe and come back for the next video. Because next, we are going deeper on that operator to owner shift. What it actually requires, what the transition really feels like before it starts to look like anything, and the first decision you need to make to start building differently. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you there. Presence and profit are possible. Let's go.